Good evening, Rashawn. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing good. I want
Excellent,
to say
excellent.
thank you for coming in to talk to me about you wanting to quit smoking. So, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm having a good day. It's a good
Okay.
day.
Okay. So, let's just jump right into this. So, first question I'm going to ask you is how long have you been smoking?
I smoked it since right after I graduated high school. I was like 18, 19. I'm 38 now, so
Okay.
20 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
20 years.
No, I never even did that math. Just wow, it's a long time.
Mm. So, let me ask you a question. In that time period, have you ever tried to quit smoking?
Yes, plenty of times. I mean, 20 years. Yeah,
Mm.
plenty.
So, you've been motivated to quit smoking at some point.
I have it.
Oh, that's awesome. So let me ask you, was there some big reason why you wanted to quit smoking?
Yeah. Like most a lot of like one big time I would say is when my daughter was born, or when my fiance was pregnant, and it's almost like a fatherly thing. Just the instinct just kicks in to stop. So if she was pregnant forever, I probably wouldn't be smoking. But obviously,
Wow, that's really great. I'm really happy that you thought about your children and you wanting to quit smoking for that period of
yeah,
time so you can just have a healthy environment for
yeah.
them. That's awesome. So in those attempts to quit smoking, what caused you to start back?
9 times out of 10, stress. I
Stress.
use it as a stress reliever a lot of times. I can choose what I want as a stress reliever, obviously, but that was my thing of choice. So yeah.
Mm. So you tend to use cigarettes as a way to relieve stress.
Yes.
And do you are you stressed often or?
It's just not just the stuff, stuff adults go through day to day. Whether no matter what, anything from bills, the kids at school, or whatever happens around the house, is just natural stuff. It doesn't take much for it to be a stress reliever. It just is.
So it really feels good when you just have that cigarette
Yeah,
and you're able to just pull and you're able just to relax for a minute. It takes a
basically,
weight off your shoulder.
basically.
Okay. So you just wanna it's like your way of you wanting to get away from everything that's going on around
Yeah,
you.
cause like when you smoke, you have to. I don't smoke in the house because I got kids, but when I go outside, nice and quiet, you hear the nature in the background. It's a nice environment and everything. So it's a perfect, you know what I mean? Like place to woosah. So it just
Well, that's great that you don't smoke in the house with your kids, and it sounds like you know when you're smoking, you're taking notice of what's around you.
oh, for sure.
Yeah, and it's like that, like you said, that woosah
Yeah,
moment for you to
definitely.
kind of like see the trees, hear the wind blow,
Mm-hmm.
um, feel the cold air because
Yeah,
usually at nighttime you get the cold, feel that cold air up against
yeah, yeah,
you.
definitely.
So okay, okay. So what's the longest period since you started smoking? What you said was 20 years. What's the longest period that you had quit smoking?
I'd say during like pregnancy and birth times, I'd say a few months, at least a couple maybe at one time, at least a few months.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I see that you were really motivated to stop
Oh yeah.
quitting smoking for the benefit of your baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I know you were probably on one hand, you were probably like, I really need that. But on the other hand, you were like, I gotta just kind of stop for a minute. I gotta kind of take a break. I gotta
Yeah.
do this for my family.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? So, what would you think is one of the biggest benefits of you thinking about quitting smoking?
The biggest benefits about thinking about quitting
Mm-hmm.
is I can definitely is one of those things where you set a goal for yourself and then now you have something to try to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
It's uplifting, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's one of the things. Oh, I made it. This is my second day in 2 hours. So yeah, so like it's yeah,
So for you, it's more so goals.
yeah.
Is your goals attached to anything in that time? For you as far as a benefit that would help you. As far as
That,
quitting.
that'd be like one of the goals where like you want to do self improvement just for yourself. It's not
Mm-hmm.
something that you speak out loud, but it's like a self improvement thing. Like I'm gonna start cutting my hair more than once a month, or you know what I mean. Like it's one of those things where it'll make you feel better about yourself. That's like always number one on the list.
Okay, so you want to boost your self esteem. You want to have confidence. You want to gain that willpower. That's what it sounds like to
Yeah.
really quit smoking.
Hmm.
Okay, that's fine. So what would you need to help you do that?
Man, I guess I have a good support system. Everybody needs a good support system.
Okay.
Like, that's first off if you're trying to accomplish anything in life or whatever. But what I need is, I guess, one of those things. Maybe I don't need access to be able to get cigarette. Like, I don't know. How do you explain? It's hard to explain this without sounding like a complete crackhead.
It's fine. It's fine.
But like, if I didn't have the means of going to the store and saying, "Oh, there's a pack of cigarettes. I want that," then, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that might be the problem too.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So let's kind of like summarize this for a minute. You know, you've been a smoker for about 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a stress reliever for you. Just dealing with regular adult stuff that's going on in your life.
Yeah.
You quit for a period of time due to your fiance being pregnant and the birth of your daughter.
Yeah.
And, you know, you feel like the biggest benefit of quitting smoking would help you, you know, boost your self-esteem, your confidence, and kind of give you that willpower that you need to just be a better person for you and be healthier. And set it great. That's setting a good example. Yeah. And right now it's like you understand that you want to quit, right, and you feel like your accessibility of obtaining the cigarettes it's like yeah. I got too much access. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Okay. Do you mind if I give you some advice about something?
No problem.
How about you think about how much you spend on? Have you ever thought about how much you spend on cigarettes in a period of time?
That has been one of the reasons why I've stopped in the past also, yeah.
So, okay. So, when you think about how much you spend, because we're going to do a flip side of it. When you think about how much you spend on cigarettes, yeah, give me a guesstimate of how much you may spend a month.
Man. I'm from Jersey. It's a lot cheaper here. I wouldn't even use Jersey prices because I'll probably stop right now. But maybe 20. At best, $35. There's got to be at least a pack or two packs a week.
Okay.
5, 10, 15, 20. Well, this is stacking up.
Okay. So you're realizing that smoking cigarettes is kind of costly for you, and you really want to figure out a way to minimize that cost in the future. And you wish that you would have thought about the cost maybe a little bit sooner.
You're like when I first started.
So, how would things look if you stop smoking today?
I bet, like, I can't feel the difference between smoking and not smoking, but I'm pretty sure I'd be more healthy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's got to be some type of difference. You know what I mean? From getting sick, immune system, all that stuff, there's got to be some type of difference. Sometimes I won't even pick hug my kids if I'm smelling like smoke. You know what I mean? Like, it just the dynamics change in your life. Period. I know. I can't see it right off top, but I know stopping would change a whole bunch of different things. You know what I mean? Especially down the road. I think about down the road a lot.
Wow. So just the dynamics of being there for your kids, being able to hold them, hug them when you want to, or when they run to you.
Without them having to deal with my bad habit. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you're really thinking about your kids. You really love your kids.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know, on one hand, you're like, I love this. This is my stress reliever. But on the other hand, you was like, yeah, I want to be a good dad. I want to be a part of there. I want to give them hugs and kisses when they want them, not just when I want to give them to them. So yeah, I totally see that. And that's awesome that you thought about that. You know, just thinking about it makes this step and this process a little bit easier, because that becomes your biggest focus. What's going to be in the best interest of you, what you're going to do in the future. Yeah. So how would you like to change these things?
Man, like, I can say it. Just the way it's been in the past, I can say everything right now, what I want to do to stop, and then tomorrow, that urge to want to get in that environment that I was talking about with the scenery and a nice puff. You just kind of want that from time to time throughout your day, and you fight for it. What would I do now? Man, But maybe that's one of my problems is if I could figure that out, then maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe I could apply that to getting over that hump.
Well, you've already said that you have the ability. You already shown that you have the ability to quit smoking
Of
because you
course.
quit for a period of time.
Oh, so it seems like I need a drastic situation in order to.
No, not necessarily a drastic situation. You can honestly, if I may, to give you may even just want to cut down. You know what I'm saying? Instead of limit yourself to it's okay to smoke. Well, health wise, it's not okay, and you know that.
Yeah, of course.
But you can figure out a way to cut down on the smoking where it doesn't impact you in a different. It can impact your life a little bit different.
You're right. I have realized that the more cigarettes I had, the more I smoked. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I only had 2 in my pocket that day, that probably all I would smoke. If I had a pack, you know what I mean? So I know that for a fact. Yeah.
So we kind of touched on this about your ability. So what do you think you might be able to change if you started today? Well, if you started tomorrow, because today's almost over. If you started tomorrow, what's the first thing you would change tomorrow morning?
If I made a conscious effort to quit, I'd probably stop putting myself in a position to purchase cigarettes in the first place.
Okay.
I guess, you know what I mean?
Okay. So I'm gonna can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Have you ever thought about having a cigarette jar?
Wow, I'd never even enlighten me, please.
So what I would say is, anytime you get the urge to buy a pack of cigarettes, get a jar that you can keep that's going to be visible to you, and put that money there. When you get the urge, be like, you know what? You say you have a daughter, you say you have kids, make that their cigarette jar, or you can label it cigarette jar for Kylie, or cigarette jar for Kaden, or label that jar, because if you put that money in there, that may be something that you may be able to give them or do for them that shifts your focus, that can kind of shift your focus.
That sounds really good. That's something positive I can actually. That sounds really good. But the only problem is, what about the urge for that scenery?
Okay.
You know what I mean? I still have to deal with that. What do I replace it with that's so nice that I could just be alone and you just hear birds chirp? Like I have to create that without the cigarette.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So have you thought about ways to create that?
I have not thought about it, not at all.
So if you were to, let's kind of flip it. Let's take it from another perspective. You enjoy cigarettes and having that release and that stress of smoking. And the times that you enjoy cigarettes are when you're at one with nature and things like that. So what's an activity that you can do when you're other than smoking? Have you thought about another activity that you can do to kind of do?
Yeah, playing with the kids slows it down outside. Playing with the kids, just being anything constructive other than if I have free time and if I have stress on my day and I have free time, that's my go-to. So I guess if I do preoccupy my time with something else, it would take away from actually smoking. I've never really given much thought, but right now thinking about it, it makes sense.
So that kind of speaks to your reason why you want to smoke, because you want to be able to be there for your kids and have more of that free time to spend with them. So, we kind of spoke to the reason why that may be a reason for you to quit. What may be a good reason? So I want to hear you say it. What may be a good reason for you to quit smoking?
What would be a good reason for me to quit smoking? Because I have a family that I don't want them to be around. I don't want them to pick up the habits, and I don't want them to be a casualty of my bringing that into their, or just being a role model for them to pick. I mean, my kids pick it up. Then what? I'm pretty sure I picked it up from my mom. So, I don't want that to happen.
Okay.
I got to be a role model at the end of the day for my whole family.
So that's great. That sounds awesome. So being a role model is very important to you. Being a positive influence on your kids is really essential to you as far as being a parent. And so let's kind of scale this on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
How important is to you to start quitting?